CBS 12 News at 11.
Family members gather outside the home of a suspect who was killed during a high-speed police chase. Why police tried to pull him over in the first place. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Liz Quirantes. New details emerging from the deadly I-95 car chase early this morning. Tonight, family and friends are mourning the death of Cyrus Deal. CBS 12's Josh Repp joins us from the accident scene on I-95 tonight. Josh?
Yeah, just near the Lantana Road exit, I-95 northbound is where police tell me Cyrus Deal's run from the cops came to a tragic end, crashing the vehicle he was driving into a sidewall and forcing his body to be ejected at a high rate of speed. Family and friends gathered outside the address listed for Cyrus Deal and showed us they were not happy that we were there. After this tragic scene on I-95 near Boynton Beach, Florida Highway Patrol measured out the distances of the crash that claimed Deal's life. According to the Boynton Beach Police Department, an officer recognized the silver Volkswagen Bug as part of a bolo, suspecting the car was used in a recent armed robbery or was stolen. This isn't the 38-year-old's first run-in with the law. Records show Deal has been arrested several times and convicted of 5 felony charges, dealing in drugs to grand theft. According to the report, the officer followed the car onto I-95 in Gateway and turned his emergency lights and siren on, but Deal refused to stop and took off north at a high rate of speed. This is where the chase ended, just north of Lantana Road, crossing into Lake Worth. Police tell us, as you can see, the Volkswagen Bug slammed into the side wall. Deal was ejected from the vehicle and pronounced dead on scene. The family tonight asking for privacy. And that Boynton Beach police officer who gave pursuiters unpaid administrative leave, that's standard in situations like this. That officer will be identified on Monday. We're live in Boynton Beach. Josh Repp, CBS 12 News.
Thank you, Josh, for that live report. And now to a news alert about a scam involving your electric bill. We have gotten dozens of calls into our newsroom today, people telling us a friend told them President Obama will pay their power bill and gave them a number, a phone number, and a routing number to use. Don't do it. We spoke to Florida Power and Light this morning. They told us there is no federal program that will pay your power bill if you simply give some of your personal information. They warned us about a similar scam last month.
They need to protect themselves. And again, do not give your information, your personal information, to anybody that you are suspicious of.
Okay, but this is the confusing part. Callers have been telling us tonight that they aren't asked for personal information except for their account number, their FPL account number. We called the phone numbers that they were given, and they indeed sound like the legitimate FPL phone line and message. Then you punch in your account number and then the routing number that's supposed to pay for your bill, and voila, your FPL balance is instantly zero. Now, we're thinking if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. But we are still investigating this, trying to contact FPL officials again with our new information to see if there's an update. Governor Scott making headlines tonight saying Florida will not comply with President Barack Obama's health care overhaul. The announcement comes after the governor recently said he would follow the law if it were upheld by the U.S. Supreme Court, which it was on Thursday. But then in a national interview last night, the governor said Florida will not take any steps to help carry out the overhaul. The governor said that expanding eligibility of Medicaid to those just above the poverty level would not help citizens of Florida. Also new at 11 tonight, Senator Marco Rubio in our area today talking books, the economy, and Obamacare. Hundreds lined up to meet him and to get his autograph on his new memoir, An American Son. The book signing drawing so many people that the Palm Beach bookstore moved the event to the First Baptist Church in West Palm Beach. Senator Rubio also taking time to comment on the recent decision by the Supreme Court to uphold the Affordable Health Care Act, calling the penalty for not buying health insurance a tax on the middle class. But he says there is one thing where there's agreement. The number one issue facing Americans is growing the economy. He says the president wants to grow the economy through new taxes. Rubio wants to grow it through new taxpayers.
Got it. The president thinks the way you grow the economy is you tax rich people a lot of money and you give it to the government so the government can spend the money. I think the way you grow the economy is you allow people who have made money to reinvest that money to grow their businesses or start new businesses.
On Senator Rubio's website, it states the senator has 3 goals concerning health care: repealing and replacing Obamacare, allowing individuals to control their own health care choices, and returning control of health policy to the states. Well, since Thursday, we've been asking you, should the Affordable Care Act be repealed? The numbers continue to change, but right now, here's where the poll stands. 66% say yes, it should be repealed, and 33% are saying no. As this poll has been going on, there's a bigger division between those two numbers. We'll see where it goes tomorrow. You can vote by going to our website, CBS12.com. Just click yes or no. New tonight at 11, a Southwest Florida teen is in the hospital tonight after he was shot playing Russian roulette. Authorities say 17-year-old Thorin Montgomery was shot in the head during the apparent Russian roulette game with 3 of his friends. The investigation is ongoing. And a disturbing story out of Fort Myers. A lost cell phone leads to the arrest of a couple on child pornography charges. Convicted sex offender Alan Johnson and his girlfriend Jennifer Sparks are accused of molesting a toddler and producing child porn with her. But they left behind a phone at this Cape Coral Walmart, and the person who found it called police. Detectives found multiple images of child porn on the phone. They traced it back to Johnson and Sparks.
They sexually abused her in every way imaginable. In fact, my most seasoned detectives here said that it's the worst they've ever seen.
Sheriff Scott says the toddler's own mother may have loaned her to that couple for 6 weeks of abuse. The toddler was located in Polk County and is now in state custody. New at 11 tonight, a South Florida police captain charged with molesting a 15-year-old girl. Broward County prosecutors say 46-year-old Miramar police captain Juan de los Rios forced the girl to take off her clothes so he could check whether she had had sex. Authorities say De Los Rios found the girl and a 19-year-old man in the backseat of a car. The two told him they were just talking and did not have sex, but prosecutors say De Los Rios told the girl to take off her clothes so he could make sure. A 28-year veteran, De Los Rios is suspended without pay. George Zimmerman, the man accused of shooting and killing 17-year-old Trayvon Martin, remains behind bars this weekend as a judge decides whether to reinstate his bond. This comes after Zimmerman and his wife held back information about the more than $200,000 they collected in online donations. A bond hearing held yesterday focused on Zimmerman's finances. The judge will likely make his decision next week. And wildfires are burning across Colorado. The Waldo Canyon fire is the most destructive in state history, and it's burning through land in Colorado Springs. Some of those evacuated are starting to go home, and Drew Levinson was with some of them as they went back.
No, he's happy to be home.
Linda Burton just came home after sleeping 3 nights at a friend's house. She and her fiance evacuated when the Waldo Canyon wildfires crept to within blocks of her home. She was thrilled to be back, but shocked to find her car was gone, stolen.
It was a 2008 Mazda Miata. It was a limited edition.
Thieves also broke into her house.
They came in through this window here.
They ransacked the place. They took jewelry and computers.
It's almost as bad as a house being burned down because you feel violated, that there are people out there that prey upon, victims and people that are already suffering.
Pat White was still unpacking Saturday. She took most of her precious belongings, including the flag that draped her father's coffin. He was a World War II veteran. She says it was stressful not knowing whether her home survived the fires.
It's really great to be able to get back to work and just be home in my own bed.
There remain thousands of others who can't get back into their homes. They still live too close to where the wildfires continue to burn out of control. They're still staying in shelters or at friends' homes.
We are working as aggressive as we can to get people back home and businesses back to work.
Sunday, people who live in one of the hardest hit areas, Mountain Shadows, will be allowed back home for a short time to see what's left of their houses. Firefighters say the weather is cooperating, allowing them to gain some ground on the fire. Drew Levinson, CBS News, Colorado Springs, Colorado.
And firefighters say the fire on the edge of Colorado Springs is about 45% contained, and it has burned more than 350 homes. New at 11 tonight, our local Red Cross has deployed volunteers to Colorado Springs to help victims of the wildfires. I spoke to one of them over the telephone tonight about why tomorrow will be especially difficult. For the first time, many evacuees in the hardest hit area will be allowed back into their neighborhoods to see if there's anything left.
The they going to want to sift through the ashes to find if they can find their grandmother's ring. Whatever it is that they feel they've lost, they're going to try and find tomorrow. So it's going to be very, very emotional.
Red Cross volunteers will go in with them to provide water and food during this difficult day. Mental health counselors will also be on hand. And now for a check of our weekend weather, taking a live look outside on this beautiful and dry Saturday night. We sure hit the jackpot today. CBS 12 Storm Track meteorologist Michael Ehrenberg joins us now to let us know, gosh, will tomorrow be shaping up to be just as nice?
Well, it looks like it will, Liz. Temperatures today reach 90 degrees in West Palm Beach, and tomorrow will still continue, it looks like, with that dry weather pattern here across South Florida. Right now, we're checking out the airport cam. Mainly clear skies. It's 84 in West Palm. Pretty mild. Even at this hour, the heat index is 93. It's 83 in Jupiter, 79 in Wellington, 86 there still in Pahokee, and upper 70s to low 80s for those of you on the Treasure Coast. No rain on the radar right now, and as we go on through your Saturday night, it'll remain mostly clear and mild, with temperatures bottoming out in the low to mid 70s by tomorrow morning. How long will this rain-free pattern last? Well, we'll check out the details when I come back with your 70 forecast. Liz?
Thank you, Michael. And keeping an eye on education tonight, the Florida Board of Governors has denied a Florida university's appeal of a reduced tuition increase. The Board of Governors previously agreed to let Florida Gulf Coast University raise tuition by 12% this fall. The Fort Myers school asked for a 15% increase, but a committee voted 6-0 to deny that request. The tuition increases, which range from 9% to 15%, will raise $98.32 million across the state university system. That's about a third of the $300 million spending cuts that the 11 universities will have to face when the new state budget goes into effect tomorrow. Mid-Atlantic states bombarded by violent storms. Tonight, the aftermath, more on the deaths, the damage, and the millions who lost power. It's been attempted before, but now another woman thinks she can swim from South Florida to Cuba. The mile marker she reached today and where she is right now. That's next. Welcome back, everyone. At least 13 people are dead and millions are still without power from strong storms that hit the Midwest and Mid-Atlantic late Friday night. Cleanup even delayed the start of play at a PGA tournament in Maryland. Danielle Nottingham reports from Washington, D.C., where there is a state of emergency tonight.
A tree sliced through the bedroom of this home in Silver Spring, Maryland, killing a 71-year-old woman.
Horrible. I'm still shaking because that could have just as well happened to us here.
Forecasters say hurricane-force winds left a path of destruction from the Midwest to the East Coast Friday into Saturday.
Apparently the wind came in from the southwest, completely took this part of the building off, landed in the parking lot about 300 feet away.
More than 3 million people lost power, and now crews are working around the clock to get the electricity back on.
Officials have declared a state of emergency in Virginia and here in Washington, D.C. Power may not be restored for days in some areas, and temperatures could hit triple digits Sunday.
Downed trees are making it difficult to get around the nation's capital. And in nearby Falls Church, Virginia, residents woke up to trees on their cars and homes.
Big crash, boom, house shook, and came outside, this was it.
Congressional Country Club in Bethesda, Maryland received so much damage. Saturday's third round of the AT&T National Golf Tournament started almost 6 hours late. And PGA officials banned spectators because they couldn't clear all the debris around the course. Authorities throughout the affected areas say the cleanup from these powerful storms will take days. Danielle Nottingham, CBS News, Washington.
And officials also declared emergencies in Maryland, West Virginia, and Ohio. Well, endurance swimmer Penny Palfrey has crossed the halfway mark in her attempt to become the first woman to swim unassisted from Florida to Cuba. According to Palfrey's website, a GPS tracking device on her support boat a few meters away from the swimmer shows she reached the halfway point near midday today. Palfrey had pushed through the calm waters of the Florida Straits overnight and through the dawn. enduring jellyfish stings, but otherwise encountering perfect conditions. If Palfrey succeeds,